I trust someone like Dave Filoni more than I trust someone like maybe Jon Favreau, even though I did like some... What?
I don't trust him at all. I won't say I don't like Jon Favreau, but I think... What did he do? What did he do? I feel like everything he did...
He voiced Paz Vizsla.
Ah! Wow!
Okay!
Wow!
I'm just stating facts. Okay, you didn't need to come, like, with all that shade.
I do like it. Hi!
Hi!
So, welcome to our first episode of our podcast.
The Cunt Strikes Back.
The Cunt Strikes Back.
We think it's a lovely title.
It's a pun on The Empire Strikes Back of Star Wars. Because we are nerdy and we are queer, so cunts. Because we are cunts.
Yes, we really just want to use this space to like talk about nerdy things, but from a queer perspective. We just want to like kind of use this podcast as just like a fun time to look at these nerdy things through like a queer lens. And also, I feel like you and I both are going on this like journey of like not just thinking of ourselves as gay, but truly queer. Like learning what queer as a term involves, like getting connected with the culture. And we thought it would be interesting to share this journey with you. So that's what we're trying to do.
Yeah, that's what we're trying to do. That's what we're gonna do.
Yes, we're gonna serve you that, okay?
So it's episode 1. We did film a pilot. But that's probably not gonna come out since it's very like out there. Like we are Portuguese, so like we speak Portuguese in the middle of it. So
it was like, very chaotic.
It was very chaotic, so I don't think it's coming out. It's our secret episode.
Yeah,
this one is
it's
fun.
Just for us.
Just for us.
Cheers to that.
Oh.
We made a special. Oh my God. This is vodka and an orange and passion
strawberry
fruit mix. Oh yeah, strawberry vodka. Cause you know, cunt.
It's mainly just because it was like the only pink vodka.
Yeah.
That was in the store, so we're like, okay, that's it. I guess.
It did help our purchase.
Yeah.
But yeah. So, what are we gonna talk about?
What are we gonna talk about?
Duarte and I, we've been talking about like doing drag.
Oh, yeah, we didn't even say our name.
Oh yeah, by the way.
Oh my
I'm
God.
Gabriela.
I'm Duarte.
We're both Portuguese. That's probably why those names are so exotic.
I identify myself as queer bi, with he, him pronouns.
Yeah. My pronouns are she, they. I identify as genderqueer, but also pretty feminine. Yeah, and I'm also bisexual. And, yeah, we've been wanting to do drag for a while now. We're still like educating ourselves in like makeup and
because
wig.
I have never I have people do makeup on me, like Mariana or like mutual friends, like but me,
you
myself,
doing to yourself it's a
no, I
different
did it
thing.
once.
Did it work out?
No, I was following the legend Monet Chains.
Ooh.
She was doing like she had a video of like a purple like eye look. Girl, that did not work out though.
Do you have photos of that?
Oh wait, I think I do.
Oh my God! Wait,
wait. I think Mariana might have the photos. Let me see.
Oh my God.
Because I'm not gonna lie. I was looking at that. I was like, oh my God, I'm not. Yeah, I don't have pictures of that. I'm so sorry. Because it was bad. It was like it's that kind of thing. It's like you think of makeup and I'm like, okay, it's painting, and like we're both artists, so like okay, it can be that hard, but it is that hard. Your
face as like a canvas is very hard to like master because you can't just like paint it. Like you gotta be aware of the planes that you want to like reinforce. Like I want this type of cheeks.
That's something we need to learn as we like start doing makeup, and especially me because I want to do this like more feminine like energy out of my drag. I need to learn how to make my face more feminine.
Yeah, you know what? I think makeup to me has always, a very queer experience. And as, growing up like a woman, always being very like, makeup is supposed to be for these purposes. Oh. But when you start going on this like internet like path of like finding out what makeup can actually be, like these people doing cosplay of like I remember seeing this girl doing like a Harley Quinn cosplay, and she made her makeup like to look like Margot Robbie. And when I tell you, she looks like Margot Robbie. Like, you see, like, the way she painted her nose, her cheeks, her eyes, it was Margot Robbie. I'm like, what?
Makeup is impressive.
It's so fucking powerful. You can just shape your face to look however you want. That is so amazing, but also terrifying, because that's the thing. I just know when we start trying makeup for, like, these, like, drag purposes, I'm just gonna have this thing of, like, oh my god, it was, like, a few centimeters off, and now I look like Shrek.
Drag Shrek. That would be such hard.
A surf. Okay, can I be honest?
You can be honest.
Fiona was such a crush. But
Okay,
not just human Fiona.
That is a take.
That is a take, huh? Also the redhead.
She's a redhead. I love redhead.
You know what I'm about! It's like, being a redhead, it just sells it for me.
Go on. Redheads. I'm since I've been playing Devil May Cry, white-haired man. But like young white-haired man, not like old white-haired man. Like young white-haired man, it's like,
okay, but also... Asterion is just like that type of character that I know we have nothing in common. I've thought about this. We have nothing in common. He's a twink. He's obviously queer, like gay.
Honestly, I'm kind of surprised so many women just love Asterion because like he's just the ideal picture of a twink.
We like being trampled on.
Okay.
And if you're hot, we're gonna allow that.
I can't.
But just, yeah, I get it. But also, you know what I find really attractive? Men who are, like, a bit older and have, like, beards, but they're, like, trimmed. So, like, they have, like... Okay, how to say this? They have, like, volume to their beard, but it's, like, shaped.
It's shaped.
You know what I mean?
That's something I want to get on. I mean, I don't know, because I want to drag, and I guess the drag I want to start off as is non-bearded drag queen, so I guess I would shave. But, like, let me tell you, shaving, getting the shape of your, like, beard is hard. Like, me nowadays, like, I still don't understand the best way to, like, shave this to give... Because the way my face is, I don't really have, like, cheekbones, like, a chin, like, line well-defined. So I rely on my beard, and even then, I'm like, I'm not sure how to shave this well enough to be like, okay, it's this, it's giving this. It's hard.
Because I feel like as a woman... looking like at a person with a full-on beard, I feel like it's easy to go to, you just like follow the angle of the jaw that you want to have.
The rule
but hair doesn't behave like you want it all the time.
The rule that I heard is like you put a finger on your Adam's apple and you shave it like that. Because you kind of like you want to shave your neck beard but not your face beard. Like this is like my face. It's not my neck anymore. It's like my face. But it's so hard because like our friend of ours, I'm not gonna say his name, I guess. He shaves like here. Actually, now I'm thinking multiple friends of ours, but I'll think of one of them. And it looks good on him. It doesn't look bad, but it's like I don't think it will go on me. And and one time he asked me like, why don't you just shave it like all the way? Like, I'm like, I don't think that will go on me, because I also, you know, I do have a bit of fat here, so it's not hiding it, but like if I shave it here, I think this will be noticeable. You know what I mean? That little like... Yeah. So I need to hide it in some way.
I feel like yours is fine. Like the fact that you keep that like strong and then you shave down here. What I will say is like a huge like turn off for me is men who just have this whole thing with hair.
Yeah,
like
this
up until here, like
yeah,
like their whole neck is covered in fur.
I don't like
like
that's too much.
Does that feel even comfortable for you?
It's like hair. You don't really, it's like I'm not sure, obviously you have long hair, but like if
like
you don't even think about
like, because I imagine
at least I don't really sweat out of my beard. I sweat a lot of my eyebrows. I do have bushy eyebrows and I do sweat a lot of them. When I'm sweating, like most of the sweat is off my eyebrows. It's kind of weird. So I'm like, what the fuck is happening?
But it's weird because like it just looks like a whole ass like scarf, and it doesn't look very appealing.
Yeah, that is true. But no, it doesn't. It isn't comfortable.
And that's the thing. I don't like like, sure, I like the clean shaven look. I also like men with beards, but it's like, it needs to look fresh. I feel like once you just have like your whole face covered in hair, like up until your neck, it looks a bit like.
I'm trying to be more proactive with that, and also wanting to look up like tips, like how do you shave, like, because I want this look, and I'm always afraid of doing that because I am afraid of going into like content creators who are very like alpha male and very misogynist and very horrible, and like I think I have grown. Obviously, I'm not a fucking teenager anymore. I think I won't drop to that. Like, I won't fall to the fucking alt-right pipeline, which I did fail.
Fear is real.
Which I did fail when I was a fucking teenager. It's a very real thing for men because like these people in the alt-right, they feed off young men.
Yeah.
All they do is like to try to pull the young man in.
Yeah.
And me as a young man who wasn't, accepting of myself as queer, I obviously fell for that. So I'm afraid of that, but also, I guess I want to look after my appearance more because like if you look good, you feel good.
Yeah.
So.
And I feel like you have a better like moral compass to help you.
Yeah, I shouldn't be afraid. Like obviously I don't want to support problematic people.
Yeah.
But also I shouldn't be afraid of like. Because like if I notice it, I'll be like, okay, maybe I'll find someone else.
Yeah.
You know.
I gotta say, as a queer woman, my relationship with like, I love that we're talking about body hair. By the way, it's supposed to be about nerd stuff, but we're just going for the queer. But that's also a big thing. Like, it's very rare to see women in media, like in movies and TV shows, to have body hair. If they do, it's like part of the story, which like I don't like feeling hairy in places where I sweat, like for example my armpits. I shaved my armpits just for this, by the way. Because I wanted to feel I wanted to feel comfortable like lifting my arms up. I never
shaved my armpits ever.
Because you're a man.
I'm a man, but also I don't have hairy armpits. Like I'm those kind of men where like my armpits are kind of just fine.
Yeah.
Anyways, we were talking about Ashoka.
Yes, so...
How are you feeling about Ashoka? So it's like it's the episode where... Spoilers alert, but like...
But also, like, if you care about this, where are you?
Yeah, if you care about Star Wars, like, you probably have seen it by now. Where Ashoka dies and goes to the... I'm doing quotes, by the way.
Yeah.
Goes to the world between worlds and Anakin is there. And so that's like the last episode we've seen. It's coming out tomorrow, the next.
Yeah.
Which I'm very excited because we're probably going to see Thrawn and Ezra.
Because Dave Filoni was all like, this deserved to be sitting in like a movie theater. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah, because in America they're having...
gonna happen?
Yeah, in America they're having like screenings in cinemas of this next episode. I'm like...
Why weren't we born in America? I mean, well... I immediately regret
shout out to America because we do plan on going there. We plan on going to New York, but like, I am happy I did grew up here in Portugal. Yeah. I guess it's just pride of being obviously from your own country.
Yeah, but
and also realizing that America,
knowing that we also grew out of like the expectancy. Like we broke through some of the system. I think mostly because we turned out to know ourselves to be queer, but we broke out of the system. But still, knowing what our country was born out of, I'm proud to be a Portuguese-born person.
Yeah, I'm actually really proud of our culture.
Yeah,
all our culture is built on the
making
everyday
it
people.
With
yes,
beliefs.
Making it. It's like our food. It's like our food
dishes?
Culture is very built on like what we could do.
Yeah.
With what we got.
It was like wine and bread. No, listen. I'm loving Ashoka. I'm giving it room to breathe and to build what it wants to build. I think so far my favorite thing is how they're handling like the Jedi training, the mystery around this like device, this the ring, the
The
hyperspace ring.
ring.
Just the things that are like quintessential Star Wars world building. I'm loving that. So far, those are my two favorite things: the whole galaxy thing of like the outer space ring, and the hyperspace ring, and the Jedi training that they're doing with Sabine.
Okay.
And the Loth cats. I mean,
The Loth cats
whenever
are
we
cute.
go to Lothal
I'm sad
and we
we
see
haven't
those cats.
seen Loth wolves, but I understand why, because
Yeah.
Loth wolves are just very like connected to the Force, so I feel like they're being safe for like when Ezra comes back, because like in Rebels, Kanan, he didn't become a Force ghost, but his consciousness became a Loth wolf in a way. It's kind of weird. But
Do you think we'd get a Bendu reference in Ahsoka?
I don't see that,
Yeah.
honestly. I think Bendo died. He became one with the Force. I'm not sure. At most, we might see a reference like Thrawn being like, "Oh, you know, this creature told me."
But
this.
that's exactly how he described it. This
Yeah,
creature, like,
this
because
creature, I
he
don't
just
think
can't
he,
really
you know.
understand it.
I am enjoying it. I'm really enjoying how they're dealing with Sabine's like Force sensitivity.
Yeah.
You know, they're not being like, "Oh, she has the Force now." No, they're like, "Yeah, she doesn't have the Force." The Jedi would never accept her as a Padawan, as like a youngling. No, she has no Force, but she's trying. Because that's what the Force is, like, it's like all around us. It's like part of us, it's like part of Sabine, it's like part of like that world. And like, yeah, if she trains, like, she might be able to use it. She doesn't have, but she's just...
But it's a belief thing.
Yeah.
I feel like it's so hard for
I think
Sabine
it's
to
more
get it
than,
because
I think
she's
it's more than
Mandalorian.
I think it's a bit more than a belief thing. I think it's like, you know...
Okay, you shoot your theory first.
I think, I know it's not really a theory. I think people just like in the Star Wars universe, some people are just born with more of a connection to the Force, and people with a less connection to the Force. It's not. I don't think it's about belief. I think it's just like connection, and then you work on that connection through your life if you want to, or if you even know how to. Because let's be honest, the Jedi hid the Force in a way. Like, it was theirs.
They gate kept it.
Yeah, pretty much. And that's like I think that's one of the issues with the Jedi in the prequels.
Yeah.
It's like the Force was theirs. They need to protect it, and that's it. You know, that's how at least that's how I see the Force.
Yeah.
You know, I don't think it's really a belief, because Sabine saw Kanan and Ezra use the Force. I don't think she's like, oh, I don't believe. Unless it's like a belief in a way of like she doesn't believe she can wield the Force.
I think that's it. The Force is there around you no matter what, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's about your personal, like, ideas in yourself of, can you bring those walls down, the walls that you built in your culture, to allow the Force even more, to be even more a part of you. I have no doubt that Sabine is Force sensitive. I believe everyone can be Force sensitive. Because the Force is within everyone. I just think it depends on everyone's goals and beliefs in whether they do want to consider that. I have no doubt that someone who's just like like the dudes in the cantina that clean they clean the bar.
Okay.
I have no doubt that the dude that served Obi-Wan and Luke in New Hope can be Force sensitive. I just think, he doesn't go about his days wondering what is this thing that surrounds us. I do think everyone, it's what we talked about the other day. Everyone can be, but not everyone will be. Because it takes great discipline. It takes great belief in yourself and letting your walls down and believing that this Force will take care of you and you should surrender to it and not try to dominate it. I think Sabine has a hard time with it because she's Mandalorian. She grew up in this culture of domination of your spirit, of you're a part of one. Yeah. But that one is still very individual. The Mandalorians are very self-centered. I feel like once she turns that outwards, she will understand that, oh wait, the Force is not a thing that you believe in. It's something that you let in. Period.
But I don't think she will get the Force though.
Yeah.
I don't see her getting the Force. I actually, I would say that. I don't want her to get the Force in a way. I like the idea of like you being able to get to become Force sensitive and become a Force user through training. Through training. But I kinda. This might seem bad, but I kinda want to see her fail.
Yeah. I picture Sabine like trying to do some Force stuff, and the way that we saw Ahsoka train her, like, yes, she does try to become a bit more aware of her surroundings, but she will never reach Ezra's level, you know?
No, I mean, I don't think she'll reach any Jedi's
Yeah,
level.
I feel like for me, ideally, she would just become the type of person that's like, I get that there's that benefit of being one with the Force. I just don't think I'm about that.
Yeah.
Like, I just have some awareness, but deep down my roots are somewhere else. And that's okay. That's okay.
Yeah.
She can say to, we don't know what's going to happen, but she can say to Ezra, like, yeah, I get what you're about. I'm just not about that. And that's fine. She has her own thing.
I understand what I think I understand what Defone is trying to do. It's like trying to, Sabine lost Ezra, and I think she misses Ezra so much that she went into his path of like a Jedi path. I think maybe her story is her finding out like, okay, like this ain't for me. Like I was doing this because I was missing my family, Ezra, because Ezra is his family. He's her family, especially since she lost her family on the purge on Mandalore, which was like
for us to see.
very like, oh, okay, damn, which makes sense because I don't see Ursa, which is her mother. I guess leaving Mandalore and being like, yeah, fuck no, like I see her like standing,
I see her dying for
Mandalore, and it's like, yeah, like Sabine was always like the black sheep of her family, and her being part of the Ghost crew was probably what saved her.
Yeah.
Because I think if she was on Mandalore, she would have died. You know what I mean?
I think so too. Especially
I think she has a lot
be.
of guilt of that, and that's why she's
and I think why I'm liking Ahsoka is it's teasing us with Ahsoka is feeling like, yeah, she's accepted that Anakin became Vader, but we in Rebels all we saw was her dealing with Anakin being Vader. She didn't really deal with Anakin like turning down the Emperor to save Luke. We see her being with Luke and she mentions like, oh, you're so much like your father, but she's never really wrestled or dealt with the fact that she left Anakin behind. We see her regret, but I feel like she still struggles with that, even though she has accepted it.
I don't think she has. I mean, has she? But I feel like in Rebels, she like the whole like her whole pretty much arc is her accepting the fact that Vader became Anakin. I'm not sure she accepted.
But that's the thing. I think she accepted it that Anakin became Vader. I just don't think she has forgiven herself for leaving Anakin behind in the Jedi Order.
Now, what do you think? Do you think at the end of the last episode, do you think Anakin in the World Between Worlds is the son? Because there's like that theory going around.
I think that can be a thing that they try to do, but I don't see that being a likely event because we see Ahsoka as Ashley because literally the daughter gave her life for Ahsoka. The son didn't do that for Anakin. You know what I mean?
No.
I don't know. I feel like mixing Anakin and the definition of the son is doing a disservice to Anakin.
Yeah, because Anakin never turned the father.
Yeah, Anakin never. Anakin was supposed to be the balance, right? That is what the father is. Anakin being like the son just does a disservice to the thing that Anakin never glorified the dark side of the Force. He surrendered to the dark side of the Force because he felt so helpless in the restrictions that the light side was giving to him. So I feel like comparing him to the son is a disservice to him.
I don't think that's what they're trying to do. I think the theory is like the son is pretending to be Anakin.
Okay.
But like, I know I think that goes into this whole thing because like, we never got a full answer of like, is Mortis real? Because the whole Mortis. Is it Mortis? Yeah.
Mortis.
Was Mortis real? Was it a Force vision that Obi-Wan, Anakin, and Ahsoka had? I don't think we ever got a
We can
full
get really
answer.
philosophical with that
Like,
episode of Clone Wars.
That
We can get very
honestly,
metaphorical.
those episodes were such. They're a can of worms. It's
Yeah.
like it was such a thing that's like we don't know what happened.
Because I
there
feel like
almost,
so much
like,
of
in a
the
way.
Force. I feel like that is the same with the midichlorians. Like, you can get really deep into it and try to give it names. But part of the interest, in my opinion, of the Force is that it's this mystical thing that is unpredictable.
Mhm.
And by giving it these names, like, can you really narrow it down to midichlorians and to the father, the sister, and the son? Or the daughter and the son? Or, like, are they really these concrete things that we just think the Force is this mystical entity, and turns out, no, it does have manifestations, it does have these things. It's a really interesting dialogue, which I know I'm not really as educated as someone like Dave Filoni to discuss.
Yes. I mean, Dave Filoni was taught by George Lucas.
Exactly.
He just has an edge that it's impossible to
That's
get
the
over.
thing.
Because he knows. You know, I mean, he has those answers.
Yeah.
Because the
He's
thing,
talked
I
to
want,
the
I want,
creator
to, I
of
want
Star
to trust
Wars.
Dave Filoni. I want to really trust Dave Filoni, but I'm gonna be honest. Sometimes he makes decisions where I'm like, I'm not sure about.
I feel like Dave Filoni
I'm like,
is someone who is very aware of George's original intention. I trust someone like Dave Filoni more than I trust someone like maybe Jon Favreau, even though I did like some... What?
I don't trust him at all. I won't say I don't like Jon Favreau, but I think what did he do? What did he do? I feel like everything he did.
He voiced Paz Vizsla.
Ah.
Okay.
Wow.
I'm just stating facts. Okay, you didn't need to come like with all that shade.
I do like it.
No, but I mean, like, so he participated in some of the discourse in
But I feel
Clone
like
Wars,
but I feel
which
like
isn't
Dave
a lot,
Filoni,
but you know, it's still something.
But I think a lot of fans like look at Jon Favreau as like, oh, he brought back Star Wars with
No, he
Mandalorian. It's
didn't.
Like,
He didn't.
no, I mean, I'm pretty sure Dave Filoni mainly did
He
that.
made The Mandalorian.
And
But
let's
even
be
that
honest,
wasn't just
who
him.
the fuck cares about Din Djarin?
We've reached the climax of this episode.
There are so many people who like I've seen like people do like lists of like favorite characters in Star Wars, and they put Din Djarin there. I'm like, really? That's a take. I'll say that because I like Mandalorian.
Uh-huh.
I don't like him that much.
I feel like
I mean, come on now. Even Mace Windu.
Okay, real.
No, not the even Mace Windu.
But that's the thing. I feel like people like
Glorify?
Como é que se diz venerar? Tipo, idolatrar.
Venerate. Idolize.
They idolize the Mandalorian, but for me, the charm of Din Djarin as a character is that yes, he is just a Mandalorian. He's lost in this crazy state of the galaxy. He's just that. He's just like, you know, because Star Wars is a Western, essentially. It's like a space opera
Samurai
and a
Western.
Yeah.
I think that's like... Yeah.
It's like a mix of those concepts. And the Mandalorians, yeah, like they touch on that part of like, there's no really like honor amongst them. It's just like, it's more of like a family thing.
Mhm.
Like, Mandalorians, it's like a culture thing. This is the planet of Mandalore, the culture of Mandalore, and
the
someone with
of Mandalore.
yeah, exactly. Like Din Djarin is specifically, you know, like he didn't grow up in Mandalore. He grew up in the Moon, so he got the culture of the Death Watch. He got involved in all that culture. Like, yeah, we don't remove our helmets. That isn't really what Mandalore is about. But he has such a specific role. For me, the Mandalore is special when it stays on that. I think people who idolize Din Djarin is because they think like, oh, he's destined to be this great thing.
Yeah,
I don't think he is.
Yeah, I don't think
and
he
we
is.
clearly had that
he's just
evidence
a guy.
when he just gave the saber to Bo-Katan. He isn't destined to be this great guy. He's just this cowboy in space.
He's just a guy. That's the thing. He's just a guy, but people tend to be like, no, he's the chosen one.
What do you mean chosen one?
He's gonna be the Mandalore. It's like,
No, he's not.
Like,
What?
can I be honest? I also don't think Bo-Katan will with Mandalore. I think she's a broken woman. Why? I know. Oh.
Cause you know Bo-Katan.
She went through a lot, and
She did.
I don't think she'll.
You want to talk about queer coded in Star Wars? Bo-Katan? If we're talking queer and we're talking Star Wars.
Oh, queer Star Wars, yeah.
Star Wars is very queer to me from the get-go of like just the sheer concepts. You look at the original like concept arts and it just looks so queer to me. You know what I mean?
Not sure. Yeah.
Sci-fi in general feels so queer because the whole purpose of sci-fi is very to like, what if? And you see sometimes settings that are so distant from our reality that I feel and also because most sci-fi, or not most, but okay, like a lot of sci-fi settings are very like anti-establishment, you know, like fight against the system,
which the fans don't get at all.
Yeah. Which most of the fandom ignores anyways.
It's like, what? No, it ain't political.
Yeah.
Oh, we ain't fighting an empire.
What do you mean Star Wars isn't political?
I mean, the prequels which you love, which you apparently love, it's all about politics. Okay, yeah, it's
just saying.
It's not political, sure. Okay, anyways, you were going.
But yeah, like, sci-fi feels very queer to me. And Star Wars and Star Trek, but especially Star Wars.
I feel like you can say, I feel like fantasy can be very queer.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Isn't just fantasy in general, isn't fiction in general just very queer? You're like, I wish this was different than it is. That's very queer, right?
I guess.
It's very queer. Like, you look at any, like, fantasy thing, and there's... I just said this and I thought of J.K. Rowling, so maybe not. But just, like, you see so many fantasy tropes, and that is queer. You know what I mean? Being anti-establishment, being,
I feel like a lot of fiction is very minority.
Yes!
So, you know, I mean, I see a lot of, like, fantasy words being like, oh, the elves are enslaved. It's very like, obviously very minority based.
You really have to go eat now.
Very like, she do be eating. We're so sorry for the interruptions. We're filming this in your home where we obviously have roommates, which are our friends. But obviously, you know, it's their home. We're not gonna be fucking assholes like you can't do anything while we're filming this. So sorry for all the breaks. We're gonna try to minimize the breaks. We
just thought it would be nice of us for you to not hear people like pee
or a dog eating food.
Yeah, there's a dog right there. I think you can see a corner of her.
This time I'm petting her.
But yeah, we've talked about Ahsoka and Star Wars, and we've talked about body hair. And growing up in our town.
Let's end it on drag. We're both very excited about drag. I still don't have my name for drag. I do have.
Me neither.
Let's see what. We're probably not gonna get any comments on the first episode, whatever. Or I might just already have a name by the time. By the time we post this, I'm gonna tell the names I have in mind, and be like, what people think. I have Cookie.
Just cookie?
Yeah, because there's this Portuguese dessert which is called bolacha, which is like cookie cake, which is like my shit, you know what I mean? My family knows me for my love of cookie cake. Like, if there's cookie cake, I'm eating most of it.
I don't know if like people in America or anything have something similar, but it's like you dip cookies... Which, it's not chocolate chip cookies. It's cookies that we call, I guess the translation is like
Maria. Yeah, it's like, I think it is like Maria cookies, which like Bolacha Maria. It's like a specific cookie. It's like the most normal cookie ever.
Yeah, it's just a basic cookie.
But maybe it is specific because maybe in like other places they don't have it.
I don't know what you have in your country.
What y'all have.
But it's like, these cookies are like dipped in coffee. And then put in stacks. Some are dipped in like stronger flavored cookies. Some are just like slight coffee flavor. But so you put them and then you mix it with cream and
Yeah, it's
butter.
like this cream and butter thing.
And it
It's
tastes
pretty
like cookies, some bit of it of coffee and some
but
bit of
it's
it of
very well.
butter.
Or maybe that's what I like, because I'm not the biggest fan of
Yeah,
coffee.
I don't like
so it needs to
strong
be a
flavor.
hint of
Yes.
coffee for the best
Yes.
cookie cake. So it's pretty much like soggy cookies
with
enveloped
cream.
in cream and butter.
It's the best
But it's so
thing.
good. It's so
It's
fucking
so
good.
unhealthy, but it's so delicious.
So like cookie because of that, because I want
yeah.
champagne, which I like champagne, but I don't like champagne, like actual champagne. I like the I like the name.
Word, but not
I like the name champagne, but I don't like champagne, so like maybe
Okay.
it's not it. I have bitoque, which it's bitoque, which is a Portuguese like there's this like Portuguese dish which it's called bitoque, which every time I go to a Portuguese restaurant, it's what I order.
Yeah, it's
Point
like the
blank,
standard.
period.
It's like a steak
I order
with
it.
a fried egg on top.
Fried onion,
Chips.
chips and rice.
Yeah.
And
Sometimes
that's it.
salad, but you don't need the salad.
Yeah, you don't need the salad. The salad can be there, but it isn't a
It's rice,
a
chips, and
requirement.
meat
Yeah.
with an egg on
With
top.
an egg. And I always
It's
order
so
that,
good.
like to the point where like it's just what I order, no
As a
matter
vegetarian,
what.
it's one of the things I miss the most because it's that thing, like you go to a crappy restaurant, but even the crappiest restaurants, their bitoque is gonna be
It's gonna
amazing.
be fucking amazing.
Because it's just a steak with
It's a
chips.
steak
You can't go wrong with that.
It's so good. So bitoque, which I don't think.
It's hard to
I have
translate.
said it. I have said bitoque, but when I did say to you guys, your reaction wasn't that's the name reaction.
Because
so I was like,
the people would read it as like beta oak.
oak. Beta oak. Yeah,
Like,
maybe.
no.
I also have Kafka,
Mm-hmm.
which it's obviously based on the writer Kafka, but it's mainly based on the character from Honkai Star Rail called Kafka, which she has the vibe of the drag character or the drag persona, I would like to embody, and I just like her style and her like personality. So I was like Kafka,
and it's very
Which I feel
queer also and drag queen-esque of like drag-esque of like the Kafka story of like metamorphosis.
Yeah, exactly. I feel like it's a great fit, but I remember pitching it to you guys and you all also being like, mainly a friend of ours, being like, I'm not sure about that one. I'm like, okay.
Because it is complex,
It is. I feel like, but I don't know.
But that's it can be. That's the thing. It can be.
I have Madam and Phobia, which was like a friend of ours who suggested, because I do like frogs. They ain't my favorite animal, because I feel like a lot of people assume it is my favorite animal because it's...
Because you send us so many memes about frogs.
Because there's just so much
Memes of
frog
frogs,
content.
videos
There's frog content
You
in
find
the
it
universe.
though.
That's the thing. It's got to the point where I don't even send it that much. You guys send it to me because like, oh, frogs, it's you, and that's true. So Madame and Theo, which I like the name, I just not sure.
I just don't know if it
if
fits
it's
you.
the vibe that I want.
Yeah.
What I did say to the friend who did suggest this name, I was like, I'm not sure it's going to be the main drag persona, but I feel like me doing drag, I might do that persona once in a while.
Yeah.
Once in a while. I'm like, I need to work on my pronunciation. Then I have Jessica Abundance, which is a very like normal name, I guess. I was just like looking,
We could call you Jess.
Try not to go for a pun. Just try to go for a name.
Yeah.
And I was like, Jessica Abundance, I like that. And then Tuck Spills, which I'm not even sure. Tuck Spills. I'm not sure what. Tuck, like a tuck.
Tuck spills.
Tuck Spills. Which I'm not sure. I'm not even sure when I wrote this. I'm like,
I feel like it's too
much.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm still thinking of my name. I feel like
I wanted to be a slight pun, but not just about that.
Yeah.
I thought, for example, because I feel like I would really love to have a drag persona that's kind of like old Hollywood-esque based.
Mm-hmm.
So I started thinking maybe I could mix like old Hollywood personas names and to make it like a pun. I thought of like Catherine Hepburn, like Catherine Razorburn. I
like
thought that would be funny, but I don't know. I still don't know.
I think it's the thing where like when we find the name, we're gonna be like.
Exactly. That's
it.
why I think I haven't found
And
it
that's
yet.
yeah, but that makes me
haven't
sad
felt
because like I
that.
think I'll call myself Kafka. But I think like that's the most like.
Yeah. Do you wonder if it's like, is it that I haven't found it or that I haven't accepted yet that this would be the perfect name?
I think maybe it's not you found it, because like I'll call myself Kafka until I find it.
Yeah.
But I also think we're thinking it to like, oh, he has like some of these drag names are like they're just names. We also
Yeah, but that's the thing. I feel like I haven't
saw
found
today.
just a name that I'm
I
like,
saw
yeah.
a TikTok where it was like a drag queen being like, I'm not even sure if I sent. Oh, you sent it to me. Where it's like something a horror or a Wara. A horror.
I don't remember.
It wasn't a horror because I know a horror is a drag queen, which I know. It was something like something whore. And I'm like, yeah, it doesn't need to be that serious.
Yeah,
We don't need
I
to
think
be
that's
like,
the
it
thing.
has to
It
be the
doesn't need to be
name. It's
amazing.
like,
It
oh my
just
God,
needs to be
it's like-
something that you feel like makes you comfortable.
For example, Bob
Encapsulates
Bob
your-
Drag Queen, which is like an iconic drag name now.
Yeah.
But like Bob, if you like, I don't know, I feel like it's
What's
a
your
name
name, Bob?
that a lot of people would like look at it being like, oh my God, yes.
Yeah.
But it is iconic now.
And it's
I feel like we need to
special
make
for him.
the name iconic for us. For example,
Yeah.
I'll use Kafka, but if I evolve about what Kafka is about, I'll change it.
Yeah.
Which also starting out, it's very likely we'll probably change our names
Names.
a couple of times.
Looks.
Unless it's like
clubs.
a perfect name, like that name is like,
Yeah.
yeah, this is the one. We'll probably change the name.
Mm-hmm.
So I think we also need to like take it easy.
Yeah, I want to take it easy. That's just the thing. I also want it. I don't need it to be like the best one. I just want to find something that even though it might be simple, it just makes me feel wow. Like
Yeah. So.
Catherine Razorburn, it's funny. I haven't really found it that, I also thought of Kate Bush. I feel like Kate Bush is an iconic name.
I think
For a drag
you like
queen.
it because you always talk about it and like I think you like the name. I'm not sure why you don't go for it because I think
I feel like it's funny and it's like one part of it, but I feel like
it's not enough.
if I came up with Kate Bush and Catherine Razorburn, I feel like I can come up with a third one that's, like those
Okay.
are fine, but they're
Yeah,
not like, whoa,
Yeah.
Kate Bush is really funny. I just feel like there's also, talking again about body hair. For some reason, I guess we just picked body hair.
Yeah.
I don't know if I want Bush to be associated with me. Like it's somewhat an
Yes,
insecurity.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yes. Okay. Yeah, I got that.
I think I want it to, more than funny. I just want it to be really cunty. I want it to be like really like. Pew!
That's what I want. I wanted to identify with, but I identify it with it, but I want it to be something different. I want it to be like, oh, this drag queen's name is this, and be like, oh, that's a cool name.
The way I see drag is it's gonna allow me to pick the best, like, craziest sides of myself and just be that side of myself unabashedly. I need a name that reflects that. I need a name that's like, yeah, what if I could just be that side of myself? I don't know if Bush is that side of myself. My ideal self is in Bush or Razorburn, I think those are the parts that I like the least about my life experience is related to hair. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're funny, but I think I want something
You want
else.
something else. You want something else. Okay.
Yeah, anyway.
Anyways, this has been
This has been a first, like...
weird episode, but a fun episode.
Yeah.
I think we're gonna get the hang of this. We're not gonna be great podcast hosts right away.
I'm fine if we ever get fans and they're like, oh my god, I love your first episode. No.
Yeah, like, obviously, we would like this to have fans. We would like this to be successful, even get money. Be poor.
That would be great.
We fucking poor. But it's also not a necessity. We're having fun. Is
Yeah.
that recording? Yes, it is.
Yes.
I was like, I didn't see the red white. I was like, no, yeah, I'm recording.
No, yeah, it is.
But I feel like it's okay if we have the first shit episodes. We're gonna grow. I also need to work on my enunciation a bit more because I haven't I spoken in English. Obviously, I speak with you guys.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like this like weird combination of Portuguese and English.
Yeah.
I haven't played with people
You know,
where
Latin
like I
people
speak
have
English a
Spanglish.
lot.
We need our own thing. Because Portuguese and English is very...
Panglish. Anyways, I need to work on my enunciation a bit more.
Yeah.
I feel like I've been a bit better now today, but there have been times where I'm like, oh, where I repeat the words while I'm like, oh, right now. It's an example. So I need to work on that, and we're also not gonna get fucking a lot of views on our first episode. I doubt many people are ever gonna see our first ever episode. Unless we become really big and
I'm
like,
sure it's gonna have 2 views. And it's gonna be you and me.
Yeah. It's about to have fun.
Yes, we've been spending so many of our latest years just like feeling so desperate to find like community in like a queer community especially.
Yeah, because where we live, we have the art community with Azad, which does have a lot of queer presence.
But it's a very specific
like
queer presence.
I guess we haven't felt very welcomed by it in a way.
Period. T.
So I guess we're trying to find other queer communities out there.
I think we're just desperate to find a space where we can be ourselves.
Yes.
And we are very determined in our drag goals.
Yeah, I was gonna say we ain't doing drag yet.
But we haven't really been able to find the money to the space, and because it's fun if you go do drag in like a big town like Berlin, New York, Paris. We live in a small town.
Yeah.
You can do drag in Carnival, which
also
is like...
there's one disco in our city.
Yeah.
A shitty one. There ain't a gay disco. There ain't drag shows in our city. That doesn't happen. So like, we doing drag, it'll be us.
Yeah.
Like there are drag queens that came from the city, sure. I bet there are.
Mm-hmm.
But they go to Lisbon. There isn't a drag scene here, and right now we can't really afford to try to do drag in Lisbon.
Yeah.
Going there, and also we don't even have the skills yet. Let's be honest.
Yeah, I've never done the eyebrow prep. I've never put on a thick layer of foundation.
So you're doing for Halloween. I'm gonna do whatever happens, but my big first drag tryout is gonna be in Carnival,
which is like February, March.
February, yeah. I was thinking now it just came up to me. Right, we do the makeup, we get ready, and before going to the Carnival, we do a quick podcast with us.
Yes, we gotta.
We're about to go. It's a quick hour. While we're already all done. Yes. Let's do this quick podcast right before we go, just so we get the experience of this is our first true we're going out in drag.
Yeah. So, yeah. I've also been really thinking it feels like such a now thing to let's do a podcast. I really feel like I've been thinking about this almost every day. What do we really have something special to say? Do we really have something is it worth for us to do a podcast, to say something? I feel like it's so important for queer people to have other queer people, even if they're not in their ideal type of life, which is our case. We do know there's something better out there, but for people who are not there yet, to talk about their lives, to talk about their experience, what's it like being out to your friends and not out to most of your family? What's it like just being out to your mom and not your dad? Or being out to both, but you know what I mean? Those tricky nuances of when you're coming out, you've already come out to yourself and your closest people, but your whole life embracing your queerness. I really feel like what we can really bring of special is that we're in this transition time of our lives where we really are finding out what matters to us. We're learning what being queer really means. We're learning to expand our visions of queer experience and how it intersects with gender, race, class, all of those things. But mostly just allowing ourselves to have fun. When we are together, we feel pretty queer and pretty free, but as soon as you like get out of here, I'm like, yeah, okay, I'm back to...
Yeah, same. Like, sometimes, like, yeah, I'm... But, like, when I'm, for example, in my work, when I'm working, I'm like... First, I'm closed off, because I am pretty shy when I'm not comfortable with people. But, yeah, I'm like... For example, I'm like, yeah, if my like, work colleague says, like, whatever, I'm gonna like, no, you can't. I said, like, I told you that, like, a work colleague said, like, oh, yeah, this whole new generation of these genders. And, like, I didn't call them out. And I'm like, I'm always like, yeah, I'll call them out. I'll be like this. But no, doesn't happen.
Because it feels pretty fucking
Yeah,
scary,
it's scary.
to be
It's
the only
like,
one actually
like, yeah, in
normalized.
Portugal, it's very slurs, like queer slurs are very like normalized. Like in my job, people just say queer stuff, queer slurs. Just like people who aren't queer just say queer slurs to mention other queer people.
It's so normalized. It's disgusting.
To the point where like the queer people who work there are okay with it, and I'm like, I'm not sure even how to, because I'm not gonna be like, you can't call him that, because he's okay with it.
Yeah.
But I think that's an issue in on it itself.
Yeah.
Anyways,
yeah, so this was our first episode.
Our first episode of The Cunt Strikes Back.
We hope you found it minimally interesting.
And entertaining, at least.
Yeah.
That's all. Entertaining is good enough.
Yeah.
Because if you're entertained,
I don't need life changing.
Yeah, I don't need life changing.
Because I'm barely changing my life.
I mean, I hope you all found it entertaining and not boring.
Yeah. I hope we made you laugh at least, even if just like, look at those two clowns.
Fucking idiots. Fucking queers.
I think we're just trying to have fun, and we hope we gave you that. We hope you showed
and
that.
You know, we plan on doing 2 episodes per month.
Yeah.
I think that's a nice. Obviously, we're open to do more. I think
but
less.
We both have busy lives right now.
Yeah, we both have. Yeah, I have school. I have a job.
You have school. I have work. Or trying to get work, which is being really demanding. So
we don't have much time, but we're gonna try and yeah. Coming soon, more episodes, I guess.
Yeah,
you know,
just sharing our journey.
We like this. We like doing this.
Yeah.
We're just having fun, so. Yeah. I'm just saying yeah. So I don't think I have anything else to say.
Cunt, hunty, slay,
all those things.
All the
but yeah.
words.
Bye.
Bye, guys.